if you just take 5 minutes
Mm-hmm.
to just map out that journey at the beginning
Mm-hmm.
and then map it out when you've reached whatever stage of your roadmap, I guarantee you're not going to have as much of a problem.
The critical backbone when it comes to marketing in general is tech.
Yeah.
It is dev. It's the people who are doing MarTech, who are working through analytics, who are setting the things up in the background.
Hey friends, welcome to Above the Fold podcast. I'm your host, Jess Servion. We're going to be talking about everything in your customer's journey. You're going to learn things about customer experience, brand experience, and marketing secrets that help you drive your brand success. So stay tuned, buckle up, and let's get into the episode.
I'm here with my friend Rachel Coburn, who is a fractional and consulting marketing leader. Welcome to the show, babe.
Well, thank you. I am literally so honored to be here.
I know.
Yeah.
It all worked out.
It did work. It worked out. I mean, like, here we are. So what was it, 6 hours ago?
Yeah. Yeah. So for anybody tuning in, really fun fact, my original guest got really sick today, and so she couldn't join us, and I'm literally flying on the plane, and I don't even know, it's like 7 a.m. or 8 a.m.
Yeah, something like that.
And I was like, hey, Rachel, what are you doing today? Any chance you can join us? But I'm so stoked because, listen, Rachel is a baddie. She is a baddie marketing leader. I love nerding about marketing with her. And the fun fact that you guys should all know, she used to do marketing at AG1 and Happy V and multiple other brands like in the health and wellness space.
Mm-hmm. I have. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about how you ended up in the health and wellness space.
Yeah, I started in my career in agency side. I feel like a lot of people did. And, with me as a marketer, I really, truly care about marketing products that help people. So as someone who I try to take care of myself, I try to, advocate for the space in my own personal time. So, it kind of was a match made in heaven. I was in the agency side, and I just had the really amazing opportunity to go in-house at AG1 right when it started. Probably was around employee 50 to 60. I was around that range. And, I really just gravitated towards it. I loved the idea and the genuine atmosphere of wanting to help people. And it was such a brainy product. And actually, well, funny enough, like during the pandemic, and this was after the pandemic, I was introduced to it by a roommate of mine, and they were drinking it, and I loved it. So actually, I was drinking it before I even worked there.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's awesome. Dude, I love that. I love that because, like, we're very similar in the sense that, like, we are marketing leaders and, like, work in this, like, fractional and consulting world now, right? Like, but specifically where we bonded was because we both ended up in the health and wellness space.
Right. Yeah, that's so true.
And,
Yeah.
and I think, so, like, I don't even know where I'm going to go with this thought, but like I work with so many health and wellness types of clients, right? Like I work with ProMix, Equip Foods, Lineage Provisions, and just like these baddie brands that are in the health and wellness space. But what's something that, like, coming from my previous background in tech and also I used to sling chocolate bars to children.
True.
and now working for like brands who really care about health.
Yeah.
It's honestly changed me as a marketer to thinking about like the consumer journey, right? Like, I mean, I would love to hear in your opinion, like just in not necessarily specific to health and wellness, but like how did it change for you? Like what portion, like how did it make you almost like a better marketer?
It was, yes, of course, like the personal pull towards it, but it was something that it challenged you. I think with the space, it's saturated now, but back then, you had the traditional supplements in store. You had like this traditional way of thinking. And I think what flipped on its head at AG was providing this foundational nutrition in a drink. And I think that was incredible. I love as well, like innovation. I gravitate naturally towards like I'll nerd out as well. I feel, So I feel like the product side of it was really fascinating to me. And it was something that, and an aesthetic reason as well would be more so towards, I just loved how clean it was. I loved the branding, and I loved just the messaging behind it. And I love the transparency behind it. So I think really, essentially it's just, I love transparency. I value brands that do that. And I think what really gripped me was being a part of that as well, going a little bit deeper,
Yeah.
I don't know, I always say to people, like, I don't wanna just market something, I wanna market something that helps
Yeah.
eventually, to someone's life,
Yeah.
it's yeah.
Well, I mean, to that point, that last point that you made,
Mhm.
right? Like, as somebody who's in marketing, like, my specialty is more of, like, retention and
Yeah,
life
yeah, yeah.
cycle, like,
Yeah.
so I really care about, like, the customer's experience,
Yeah.
and so I really, because like, I'm a CX girly at heart, right?
Yeah.
Like, I've come from that, and really think about, like, what the customer's, like, perception is,
Mm.
and now just, like, having been in my career for, 20 plus years at this point, right? And also being on the e-commerce side, like, I just see so much, like, these growth marketing bros who are just like and dudes and gals,
Yeah.
okay? Like,
Yeah.
but who are just like, "Market at all costs, acquisition, score them, like, at all costs." But then it makes you almost feel, and I get it, like, you have to acquire a customer to get where you need to go.
Yeah.
But it also, like, marketing as a whole, like, I think in this space, in D2C,
Mhm.
and this is gonna be a hot take.
I'm here for it.
I think in the D2C space, like, it's almost like like, marketing has been so glorified
Mm.
to where we we can make claims about things that aren't
Yeah.
fucking backed by things, and
Yeah.
it's basic, and I at the heart of what marketing is in general is you market to acquire a customer,
Yeah.
but I think some of it has lost its honesty and transparency.
It's so interesting on that note. I was thinking about this earlier. I was just thinking about probably what you and I would talk about today. And
Yeah.
one thing, and it's kind of aligned to your hot take, is that from an acquisition side, it's very much, trying to win the customer at all costs.
Yeah.
And when that happens, you tend to get really wrapped up in I'm going to throw stats. I'm going to throw this particular asset type. I'm going to throw this. Oh, this brand, my competitor is doing this. I'm going to do this. And it actually kind of tends to have the problem of brand's equity just kind of declines.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing that more and more. And I know at some point last year that was very much the hot, like, we're going to have some amazing visual hooks, audio hooks to get the customer going, and that maybe could be a little controversial. And now it's like everyone's kind of sick of it as a
I know.
consumer. Yeah.
I know. And I mean, and I get it. You like an us versus them.
Yes.
You obviously, right? Like the space isn't that crazy where it's innovative. I
Right.
do think there's products, and this is shout out to my homeboy David,
Mhm.
who is putting out a product in the health and wellness space. It's a nasal dilator.
Ooh, amazing.
By the time this airs, it'll have been launched, but it's a nasal dilator. That's its competitor would be like an intake breathing or like a breathe right.
Okay.
But shout out to him specifically because as we talk about these things in health and wellness, like you make these claims, you can say us versus them,
Yep.
this, that, and the other thing, and it diminishes that brand
Yeah.
equity. My boy is literally, he's been working on this for 3 years. He's been working on this brand for 3 years, and he's going down the path of a, like, medical device. But if I make this claim, I am backing that with a report. I'm
Yeah.
backing that with something,
You have
right?
to.
And I think so much of the health and wellness space, like, just in general, like supplements, protein, all these things, like, as consumers, we're getting so skeptical
Yeah. Rightfully
because
so.
I mean, really, there's not that many, like, protein, like, formulator or manufacturers out there, right? Like,
FDA.
FDA,
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
supplements, like,
Yeah.
you don't have to have much backing, so it's like, and I mean, this is consumerism 101. It's like marketing at the end of the day leads to people making purchases at all costs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I do think that, like, going back to your brand equity, it's just like we're losing honesty and trust. We're losing brand equity because we're making claims or we're doing these things that don't actually have backing to
Yeah.
it. And we're kind of bullshitting the consumer a little.
Yeah, and to your side of retention, in order for us, the full ecosystem of the entire growth driver of a business, you have to have, A to Z.
Mhm.
From me, if I'm bringing in someone who's just coming in to try a product because, I don't know, the ad was funny,
Mhm.
more likely the LTV is not going to be great. Sometimes it will, right? There's definitely going to be exceptions. There's exceptions to the rule, right? But the thinking here is that, like, really the full ecosystem has to, like, leverage the strength of acquisition, and that means putting the best foot forward. I am all for, like, UGC content. I mean, I'm all for, like, for us versus them, and at least trying out different formats that can help the brand drive. But if it's not working and you're seeing, like, a really, really low LTV, then you need to reevaluate. And I'm not
Right.
going to do you favors, to my point, because how can you do your side of retention when I'm just porting over just people who are not quality, right? Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah, I know that's a
Should we just
whole
like
thing.
work together? You can do my growth and I'll do
I
like
mean,
I'll do the
we talked
retention.
about that.
I know. Because
Yeah.
like straight up, it's like I just and again, it's because I come from a customer experience perspective or a life cycle perspective.
Yeah, that's true.
But it's just like
That's valid as hell.
I'm just so sick
Yeah.
of people just doing things just for the sake of money, you know? Like,
Yeah.
and I will say, like, I know I just shout out like David. Oh,
Mhm.
and by the way, because this will be launched by then, the brand is called Breathe Wave, and you should look it up. But I
I'm totally excited to check
appreciate
it
a
out.
founder like him
Yeah.
because he cares about those things. He cares about
Mhm.
the customer experience at the beginning of the journey, right? At acquisition. He
Mhm.
cares about retention. Like, I got this boy thinking, I shouldn't say boy, this homie. I got this homie thinking about retention
Yeah.
at conversion.
Yeah.
That, my friend,
Yeah.
is how you fucking sell a product.
Mhm.
You think about retention at your point of acquisition.
Yep.
And exactly what you're saying, if you're acquiring somebody, their LTV is going to be super low. So like they're probably not a good customer. And you're always going to have those customers, right? But if you can think about it from the greater good,
Mhm.
put yourself in that customer's
At the
shoes,
beginning.
dude,
Yeah.
from like maybe it won't make your money, you know, in 2 months,
Yep.
right? Maybe it might be a little bit of a slow burn, but I guarantee your churn rates are going to be lower because you actually gave a fuck about the customer at acquisition.
Preach.
I know.
I know.
This is a real hot take one.
It's but you know what's interesting is that like I'm finding that more and more people, and I'm not just saying marketers, I'm saying like even founders or people who own businesses are starting to realize that like you have to think about this full ecosystem, like I keep saying. But the thing is that like if your acquisition team or growth team, whatever you call it internally, and then your retention team, email, CX, if you're siloing your team, you have to, yes, if you're siloing your team, you guys have to be talking consistently. One of my favorite people I've ever worked with was my counterpart at Medterra, and that he's incredible. He's probably one of the best retention experts I've ever worked with. And he and I were like this at the hip. And it was because, you know, he and I understood and the rest of the company understood, we were really strong with this, is that we have to work together and we have to figure out promotional thinking. We have to think about subscription one-time purchase, not the funnel per se of ads, but the funnel thinking of everything and how that looks and how that works. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that means then, I mean, maybe I'm going off a tangent, but it's more of like, this is when it's so important for process and for leadership to understand how big of a necessity it is internally for that.
Dude, absolutely. And going back to your process hot take too,
Yeah.
or your process
I'm a freak
take.
about process.
Dude, you know what's
Yeah.
so crazy? I'm as an individual, like I
Mhm.
might do a lot of these things and, you know, do CX or do brand
Mhm.
strategy or do all these things. But one of the things that like I never really put much thought into my
Mhm.
entire career
Yeah.
is operations, like operationalizing
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
I always did like in the sense of like CX,
Right.
or in analytics, or even like if I'm writing like campaigns or whatever and like email nest, absolutely, right? But creating framework systems and like not only just creating framework systems, but like taking marketing operations seriously.
Yeah.
Gets you organized at the beginning. And I don't see it that often. I so often see people bringing in VPs of marketing or
Yep.
CMOs. And granted, like they'll go and hire for that role,
Right.
but I don't see that role as often.
It's not an advocate. It's not really necessarily an advocated role.
Yes.
Yeah. And then at some point it rears its ugly head when you start to see these different things. And that's great. That's gonna happen. You know, it's never gonna be perfect. But I think with the mentality of business owners is that you always have to consistently be thinking about the full end.
Yeah.
Start to finish is what I
Yeah.
mean. And that is the full end. Like that is what's driving your LTV, your CAC, your MER, you know, the profitability. Like I think a big trend now, me personally, is just it's not top line revenue anymore. It's all about driving that full thinking. So I do see that swaying though. Do you find that on LinkedIn or
I do
anywhere
see
you're
it
talking to?
swaying. You know what? One thing I was thinking about when we pivoted,
Yeah.
and you came on today.
Yeah.
I was actually like thinking about this even in like your marketing background specifically because you've held so many different types of roles.
I've had a lot. Yeah.
And even though it's like not talking about necessarily like the full market swinging,
Mm-hmm.
but I do think that like a marketer like you who's held like, performance, you've held like operation, like you've held like all these different types of marketing
Yeah.
roles has probably made you like a really like a better marketer than just saying I'm just a growth marketer.
Thank you. No, I really yeah, I mean, I've been hands-on. I mean, I was doing Google PLA ad management and comparison shopping engine management
Yeah.
right out of college, and then I went to programmatic, and then I did Google, Meta, like, I've done everything you can possibly think of,
Yeah.
so but the interesting thing, it's kind of it's kind of like a double-edged sword, is that I'm not critical, but it's more of like, I tend to see holes, and with me being a process freak, I kinda hone in on it, and I don't
Yeah.
mean to, but it's also like, and you know this too, it's like when there's a hole, it affects the entire thing. So I think
Yeah.
that's kind of why I'm so big into process and thinking through of like from A to Z. Like
Yeah.
I keep saying that, but it's a consistent thing that I think some people get so caught up in driving, like I'm driving sales, this is doing great, but they sometimes forget to step back,
Yeah.
right? And see kind of how the rest of the ecosystem is actually working together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's put ourselves in like a founder's shoe.
Yeah, let's try it.
Just one shoe. Not shoes, just one shoe.
I want your shoes, by the way.
Thanks, babe.
So cute.
My New Balances.
I'm obsessed.
I was marketed to.
I'm getting marketed right now.
Yeah.
I'm about to buy it right now.
So let's put let's put ourselves in the founder's shoes.
Yeah.
So, a lot of times like a brand new founder, like just starting out a brand, like they have to do it all.
Right.
They have
100%.
to do it. They have to do marketing. They have to do operations. They have to do all the things because it's like you got to be young and scrappy and you got to do the things, right?
Yep.
So let's say that founder has gotten to a point where it's like, okay, I can hire somebody.
Yeah.
How would you build the marketing team?
Mm.
And actually, money is limited. So I will say.
So okay.
Strongest
Scrappy.
hires. Yeah.
I'd say my mind goes to a million different places. So I think what it really comes down to, it is dependent upon the industry itself. It's dependent upon, let's say even your target market. I think at the beginning you should think about brand, because here's the thing is that when you don't have a, very clear understanding of exactly what your target market is, don't throw into an ASC. You need to understand what it is, because at the end of the day, you have to have a good understanding of what your email messaging is going to look like,
yes,
your CX, your ad strategy, the whole gambit. So you basically need to have that understanding. So I'd say if I was going to hire, maybe the first, I would say one or two actually should be in tandem. It's going to be the brand marketing side. And then I think as well, it should be, and I don't necessarily just get into like the social side. Social is very, very important in this ecosystem now. It's like the main thing, right? But I think when it comes down to it is growth. I think that you need to have someone who can work well with brand and brand vice versa to growth, and you try to establish exactly what the core of your business is. Having a growth marketer who has like a lot of experience, who understands, hey, I'm not going to throw all of our very, let's say, limited money, right, into all of these different platforms. I'm going to hone it in on this particular platform because based off of what the brand marketer is saying, this is where our current market is. Like someone who is in menopause is going to be, obviously maybe on, let's say, like Facebook or YouTube or Pinterest. My mom is very much around that demographic.
Dude.
Yeah.
Pinterest is crushing right now.
I love Pinterest.
I love Pinterest.
No, I fucking love Pinterest. But the other thing is that like with Gen Z, TikTok.
Yeah.
So you have to have that understanding, right, to kind of fully really position what your marketing dollars are going to look like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. But that also includes CX and then email.
Thanks,
it's just there's so many things with it. It's so hard to narrow that down.
Babe.
Yeah.
Or babes out there.
Babes.
Listen. I have had a hard few months with some of my clients. I've had to have come to Jesus moments as well as let Jesus take the wheel moments. Okay. I have run into so many founders.
Yeah.
Who I'm helping, I'm not naming names. Okay. That are like, oh, yeah, we're going to put so much money into growth. And then I'm going to operate my CX from a Gmail inbox. Fine.
Yeah.
Then you're going to operate your CX through a Gmail inbox. Then you're going to call me and you're going to be like, I really need help. Like something happened. We hit a wall and I don't know, we're doing $1 million this month, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, fine. Like, not a big deal.
Yeah.
But then what happens, because they thought so much about growth, this is actually like a true story. Because they thought so much about growth and they're also operating in a Gmail inbox, they don't have any analytics about who their customer is.
That's part of it too.
They also don't have brand.
Yep.
Because they're just like, oh, well, and I'm not saying all of them are like this. This is literally just a worst case scenario situation that we've run into.
Okay.
And they're like, we don't have analytics on our customer. We don't understand why our customer is mad. Oh my God, our 3PL isn't fulfilling orders in the manners that we were. Oh my God, we did a pre-order.
I'm spiraling right now.
Yeah. We did a pre-order and we didn't think about the communication plan through email. And now our inbox is 42,000 inquiries.
Guess what happened too fast.
Yeah. And then, we're only operating off of a VA who can only work 8 hours a day.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Like, they can't work 24 hours a day. Like, it's not even the VA. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm saying you only are employing one person to do the things, but you're not giving them any, like, structure to it.
Yeah.
So my point is then, like, we've come in and we're like, we're doing this like CX strategy. We're like figuring out all the issues. But it could have been prevented if you would have taken your customer's experience to heart in the beginning.
Yeah.
And then and I know I'm on a tangent, but
no, keep going. I love this.
But also, like, how I help brands launch at that stage is I get the founder or the team to think about that customer experience at the beginning. So I actually involve a CX expert. Even if you don't have, like, can't afford an agency, just go do some consulting hours at least. Like, a CX and UX expert to walk through your website with you, walk through your customer journey with you, and then figure out, like, okay, this is my roadmap. These are my plans right now at launch. These are my plans in a year from now. And then what does that look like for your CX team, but also your retention marketing as a whole? And I know it sounds really daunting, but if you just take 5 minutes to just map out that journey at the beginning and then map it out when you've reached whatever stage of your roadmap, I guarantee you're not going to have as much of a problem.
No, you're completely valid. Like, and I think another thing, and this brought this up in my head whenever you're talking. I think one thing that a lot of maybe, I would just say, founder to business owners in general, and this is completely okay. Like, this is like part of it. A lot of thinking revolving around growth is that they know how to set up everything. They also understand CX, which we have to, right? But we're not the ones who are, setting it up. You're in the background nitty gritty. You're working with dev, you're working with tech. I think that the critical backbone when it comes to marketing in general is tech.
Yeah.
It is dev. It's the people who are doing MarTech, who are working through analytics, who are setting the things up in the background. Like, I have worked with some incredible analytic, just strategists and managers in the past. And I think that it's not good. I'm not trying to say like they don't get like enough credit, but sometimes I'm like, this measurement wouldn't be here without them. So I think anytime I go or talk to someone who's wanting to do consulting, or if I'm going into a new area, a new job, it's always one of my questions always is like, what's your dev team like?
Yeah.
How stacked is it? Is it internal, external? I always like to dive into that.
That's actually a really good point, because I think I'm actually add that to even to my arsenal of like questions to ask, because I do run into a lot of scenarios where they're like, we don't have a dev. And then I'll point out something on their website and they're like, we don't have a dev. And I'm like,
who does it?
Yeah. I mean, truly. But also, like, the thing is ChatGPT will like teach you some things, okay? Because I've not from chat, like before chat was a thing. I actually I don't know everything about Shopify Liquid, but I know enough to know where to insert code or where to change copy if I needed to. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And Shopify, granted, I'm just because I mostly work with Shopify stores, so and and I know there's other tools. What'd you say?
I actually love Shopify.
I know. It's actually
thank you for the APIs.
Thank you.
Thank you for adding on the apps, dude.
Yeah.
Actually, never mind.
Yeah, absolutely. A little okay. But I do think Shopify makes it really easy for like a business owner to start a website.
Yes. 100%.
And you can make changes. So with or without a dev, but I am going to add that question of like what, like do you have a good dev partner?
Yeah.
To your arsenal? And anybody listening, if you don't, I know some baddies that
Likewise.
have services, worked with them at other brands, and they be doing this stuff. So call us. We'll help you, okay?
Yeah. I don't want to be taking time away from growing something, right? Because I am, just to clarify, I'm heavy acquisition. So I don't want to take my time, though, working through. By the way, I do love Asana, love Monday, but I don't want to, have the time away from doing a Q&A session with Deb to try and figure this out or figure this out, or, trying to piece together the puzzle pieces, let me do my job. So streamlining that, background is essential, I think, for someone who is coming in, who is new, or something that's newer. You have to have that. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
If you want to scale, you have to have the dev.
You have to have the dev. You have to work. And, there are agencies that are out there that will help you, or even a freelancer. I mean, I think it's okay to just ask for help too.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And that's just word of advice to any business owner.
Yeah. I mean, if you need to pull in someone for consulting or contractual, or just maybe even someone who's a VA who specializes in that, hell yeah, do it. If that works for you in that moment, there's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't have to be perfect. I think that's the big thing is it doesn't have to be perfect, but at least you're making the perfect step, making the accurate steps, going towards the process of you ensuring that you are developing systems that are to help enable your employees and who are you working with at the end of the day. That's just how it is.
Yeah. Enablement, man. Empowerment, enablement.
I'm a massive advocate for that.
I know. I just don't think you can go very far if you are very single-minded.
Correct. Yeah.
And I get it. Listen, I totally get it. When you're building a brand, it's at the end of the day, it's sink or swim.
Right.
Totally. And I completely understand that. And I completely how you can go, it can become really overwhelming. But I think there's so many resources out there that can help you, whether it's freelancers, hiring, whatever, or even just taking the time to care.
Right. Exactly. We're all in this together. I mean, it's infectious being around, in a high growth environment. It's infectious. And, you're as strong as your internal backbone.
Yeah.
And I'm so passionate about what I do, so I feel like, if you have people that are advocating for you internally, who are encouraging this, who are coming from a place of just passion, it's super. I feel like it makes such a big difference working with people who actually really are passionate about what they do.
Dude, it's literally why I started Open Late, and our tagline is because brand building never sleeps, because it's I fucking light up.
Yeah.
I
love branding too.
I just light up when it's I'm building something with other people. I mean, that's actually what attracted me. That's actually why I left my tech career.
Oh, really?
To go to Feastables.
Oh.
So I was working in SaaS, and I was doing those things, and it was fine, right? I honestly was just hopping around, going to different companies. I had a few good opportunities, and somebody was hey, well, not somebody, a recruiter, reached out to me on LinkedIn, and they were hey, I see you're in Chicago, you do CX and marketing, do you want to come and join Feastables or whatever? And legitimately I was what the fuck is a Feastable? And who the fuck is Mr. Beast? I literally was huh? And I actually had a job offer that I accepted. So sorry to that company if I come across your LinkedIn, because I know that founder would be very mad at me. But
for it.
I accepted it, and the reason I went with Feastables though is because one, the team. So our original CEO, Jim Murray.
Yeah.
Angel on this earth.
Amazing.
Love this man. He was the president at RX Bar before. He was at Pepsi before. He's a baddie.
Incredible.
Okay?
Yeah.
Tom Melcher, COO, also RX Bar.
Yep.
I forget his previous past, but a lot of CPG background, right? And so those were the two the initial, and then and then I was fourth hire. I forget who. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Josie Newell now. But she also worked at RX Bar, right?
They're all together.
Yeah,
they worked together at the same time.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it was Jim, Tom, Josie, and then me. And we didn't launch we actually launched that brand with 8 people, but there was more that came after, other fucking baddies. My girl Marina Gallagher, Katie Cumberland, some baddies. Okay,
we love these name drops.
And Ben Acott. Well, you got to give them a shout out.
No, you have to.
Personal brand shout out.
That is amazing. Yeah, that's so cool.
But baddies, and it was all of us who Oh, God, one more. So sorry. And Danny Feld, because she was my right hand in CX. And she
Uh,
also came from RX previously, too. And then she followed me to Open Late later.
oh,
Yeah.
amazing.
And
Yeah.
now she's back on the brand side. But you know what I mean? Like, it's like this pod, okay? But the reason I'm mentioning all these people and saying all these things and why they're baddies is because I literally joined Feastables. I joined Feastables because I was like, this RX bar background.
Yep.
And when I met Jim and Tom, like me and Tom literally had 2 interviews. Both were 2 hours long. And we talked about seltzer majority of the time.
That's such a clear sign, honestly. When it goes over like an hour, you're like, yeah,
Vibes are high, okay? And Jim, poor guy, I like invited him to a coffee shop to like as like a final interview. Like I'm telling Jim we're going on this final interview, okay?
Assertiveness. I love that so much.
And we like, just great guy, but like I like, I talked his ear off. But my point is, right, is like the team, the reason I joined is because of the team. The team was so badass with all of this background. And we brought, this vision to life. But those time frames of launching that brand at 8 people, being in like a random WeWork in Chicago, like that's like literally us like launching it. And we launched it, and it was just like none of us knew the caliber of what it is that we were doing. But the thing that always stuck with us is Jim might go do CEO things and Tom might go do COO things. And I didn't really have a CPG background, but he spent the time with me making sure I knew CPG.
That's amazing.
Ben, he was our head of marketing, and like him and I were like, I didn't know SMS marketing at the time. Like I literally didn't. He was like, we got to go figure it out. And I was like, we're going to go figure it out then, And like Marina, like she did all of like strategy, like, and really just operationalizing us, But my point is like this just like group of like hodgepodge people coming together to launch a brand.
That's a beautiful thing.
And like, it doesn't matter if it's Feastables, doesn't matter if it's Happy V, AG1,
right.
like that synergy of having the right people in the right place is so important when bringing a product to market is my point, right? At any fucking caliber.
Yes. No, God, that was an amazing story, by the way.
I literally just looked.
You're like hyping me up.
I'm like so sorry though to anybody listening. That was a really long story. But anyway.
No, that's so inspiring though, because like, I think like really quick, like, I mean, them coming together, working together at RX, they came together again for a reason because it worked so well. But that's just a testament to like, they probably went through so much RX, but here they are going on to another endeavor and built the Feastables up to, what was it at? Like, I mean, when you left, like
when I left, over 150 mil.
Yeah, I mean, incredible growth. So, I mean, it's a testament to, having these relationships, right? Building upon it, traveling together if that's part of like your journey, right? And just like conquering another brand together. Like, I think that's such a badass like story. Like, honestly, it hypes me up.
Dude, I mean, it's literally like why I'm obsessed with like startups.
Yeah.
Like a psychopath. I think something is wrong with me.
Do you love the hustle?
I love the hustle.
Yeah.
It is. I think something is literally wrong with me. Like, because it's sleepless nights, man.
Yeah.
It's sleepless nights. It's like brand building, whether it's tech, whether it's a product. If that's startup mentality, and I'm just saying this to anybody who's thinking about a startup, like don't go into a startup thinking you're just going to be an operator.
Yeah.
You have to have an entrepreneurial spirit.
Yeah.
Because Feastables, granted, like, don't get me wrong, like, I'm building this brand. Not even just Feastables, like any of these tech companies I worked for. Yes, I have equity in it, right? But like, you have to be a certain level of crazy to want to go build something out of nothing.
Yeah. There's certain people that really thrive, and then there's some people who it can just be a lot, right? And I think that, I feel like immediately if you've been in a startup position before and you liked it, that's amazing. But you're probably going to be bored, maybe in different, let's say, environments where it is a little more lax. I feel like it's so funny, like with my husband, like he's an entrepreneur, and I feel like this is like the perfect thing for him. He's building up businesses. Like he loves that drive. He craves it. It's the same thing. Like that's just that's how he's built, And I feel like you're built the same way, where it's just like you really crave building. You crave community. You crave like seeing your result. And I think that's like an amazing, beautiful thing. I think it's an art form, honestly. Like truly.
What do you crave?
I love branding. Like for real. I've always loved it. Like I'm an artist outside of work. I'm I'm an artist on the side, and I've always had an affinity for movies. I love movies.
Ugh.
I mean, here's something funny. I actually back in my hometown, when I was a kid, I was actually the #1 renter in my local
Oh my
Blockbuster.
God, I love that.
Yeah. But like
We're aging ourselves, but I love that
Oh,
story.
100%. But I think like what I mean is that like I love like visual.
Yeah.
I love ads. Like
Yeah.
I geek out on that. I truly, and that's another reason why I think I gravitated towards programmatic, which is a really specific channel, like CCV, and that's what I did at AG1. I did YouTube, and I really gravitated towards that because I think it's just a beautiful art form. I think video is incredible, and I think I'm not trying to go in different sections, but
Yeah, you're fine.
I think it just like really pumps me up because video is such an emotional component,
Mm.
right? And I think that storytelling is so important when it comes to branding. So I think that's another reason why I like branding
Yeah.
with video is that you get to have that first. I don't know. There's just
Yeah.
something about it. It's so weird.
No. I don't
Yeah.
actually think it's weird.
Yeah.
I truly don't think it's weird at
Yeah.
all. Because I am like you as well. Like I come from an artist background. Like I went to art school.
Did you?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I went to art school.
That's amazing.
My degree is like in fashion marketing, so that's like where like the marketing obsession like kind of came
Same
from.
as a fashion merchandising major.
Yeah, right. But visual merchandising was
Yeah.
so
That was
fascinating to me.
Yeah. That's so funny. I didn't know that.
But I also like you am really obsessed with like motion. My best friend is actually like a motion graphic designer. Like she's worked on like
So cool.
she's worked on some really cool stuff, and I've always been so fascinated. I wish I could be that good
Yeah.
at it, but she's worked on some really cool projects like Glow.
Mm.
Do you know Glow or is it Glow? It's the
Glow.
wrestling show on
Oh,
Netflix.
yeah. I never got into it, but it looked really amazing. It looked really fascinating.
So she did like some of the animations in the intro video.
Oh, it's so
Like,
cool.
she's such a badass. Like,
Yeah.
So I mean, this is a little bit of a shout out episode, but Amanda LaMarco, if you ever need a motion designer, she a freelancer too. She badass.
I need to look her up.
Yeah. But the point, the reason I was like saying all these things is because I agree with you as like even marketers and like and specialties. I think like our obsession with socials, TikToks, Instagrams. Have you noticed that? Because I'm a content creator and I create content, but I'm craving cinematic content. I'm craving that differentiator.
Yep.
In my own personal content, but I also from brands, storytelling is. It's not even just storytelling in the sense of one episode or one reel. Storytelling in the sense of creating series. Storytelling in the sense of like creating like a whole storyline of doing something. And I think if you think about content, not just about producing the content to put it out there, and you think about it in the same ways of like cinematic, of like the way we watch movies, music videos, and like that storytelling perspective, I think that is a big differentiator of what sets certain brands apart from others and why they crush on content strategy.
Yeah. And there's so many channels that they can, utilize like programmatic CTV, like YouTube, right?
Yeah.
I feel like, and this actually, I'll kind of actually step away from video a little bit. And what I'm even nerding out on, I don't know about you, but I've been seeing actually brands who are utilizing people internally on their own socials to tell the story for them in an organic way.
Yeah.
Armra's doing that, and I'm obsessed with with this girl's content. I'm trying to remember her name. She's amazing. But then there's also Third Spaces. Then there's Digital at Home with all the Blue Jean stuff, right, that was happening. There's all of these different components, and I think what it comes down to it, from my perspective, is that with the cinematic storytelling, is that these puzzle pieces work so well with other ad formats, which is what I love and nerd out on too, like Digital at Home, like placements, and thinking about that third space, like...
Well, third spaces in general are becoming... Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Third spaces in general are becoming more and more, right? Like, I'm really shouldn't say these things because then I'll give away all my secrets, but I'm really obsessed with
Can't wait to hear it.
Building like one of the business that I want to have at some point is a laundromat.
Oh, amazing.
And I know there's like, I think there's Laundryette. I forget the name of it. They just developed this in like New York, right?
Okay.
But I want to build a laundromat in the sense of a third space because so much of like Gen Z and eventually Gen Alpha, they don't drink, right?
That's true. Yeah.
And also like you can go to this to like, obviously like for a need of like washing your clothes, but make it so fun where I don't want to give out all the secrets, but like it would have like separate experiences while you wait for your stuff too. But not a bar. Right. And I'm not saying like everybody's going to go hang out at the laundromat. Don't get me wrong. Right. But my point is and there's so many companies are starting to build that. Like you look in New York, Canal I don't think it's Canal, but in Soho, there's a lot of pop-ups that come up, right? Like Jolie Skin Co. had one.
Yeah. Oh, I remember that
which
one.
is like a shower head, right? But people line up for these things. People like that out-of-home feeling. They like, I think people...
They're craving it.
They're craving it because in the digital world, we're doing the same shit over and over and over and over.
Seeing the same shit all the time.
All the time.
Yeah.
And it's exactly going back to what we were saying in the beginning is like an us versus them, or the same tactics that are like might work for another brand. Might like, what's your differentiator? Why like what makes you different, right? But I think like these out-of-home experiences in third spaces like are really crushing right now. And I think we'll like continue seeing more and more of them, right?
Yeah.
Because it's also building, when we talk about brand, it's building a world around that brand.
Exactly. And that's why brand is so important, right? To our points earlier, you have to have that ethos, like that living, breathing thing. Because people will just buy whatever. If I'm on TikTok shop, game over. I'm gonna buy something. But you have to have something that grips them, that just makes them feel like, this speaks to me. This is also aesthetic. That's a whole other big thing. But it's also like, I can get behind this brand, this storytelling I can relate to. And targeting, I don't know, I think there's so many different facets we can go into in this whole conversation. But that's why essentially when I am advocating for CTV and those higher quality assets, you have to break it up. And I feel like this is an interesting point. I think I did research way back in the day on this. But people tend to resonate high quality assets with high equity. Like that's a thing. It's like commercials. We kind of grew up seeing them on the TV. So having those highly produced assets really do play into the perception of high equity. But obviously it's going to come down to story. Is it hitting me or not?
Well, what's your take, like understanding like visuals and high quality of visuals? What's your take on like people utilizing AI and like ads, videos, everything? And this like nano banana.
I nerded out on that.
Nano banana coming out. Like, what's your take on it?
So I actually come from the AI space a little bit. I was a chief growth officer of Gen AI University, which is my husband's company. I used to teach, or he does now teach still, business owners and founders and people around the world how to utilize generative AI for their businesses. It's actually amazing. So that's a shout out for sure. But I'm an advocate. I'm an advocate for AI. I think there is a human first approach with this.
Yes.
And that's a massive topic right now, is human first. And I think that it's more about like utilizing it to the fullest potential, not necessarily doing a replacement that is not going to be the end goal. And that's something that I think more and more people are becoming susceptible to, is like, how can I use it in an effective way? And I think a lot of it is cost effectiveness. Like with high quality, I mean, I was having so much fun with VO the other day. Like it's incredible kind of how much content I can get out of an AI tool without spending a whole lot of money. Of course, that kind of goes into the whole aspect of and morale, right, of utilizing AI and not utilizing production companies, right? There's so much amazing talent out there. So I think what it is that there needs to be a balance. You have to have a balance between utilizing these AI tools for, like, let's say, getting as much content as possible to test out something, maybe just to do the fluff and meta. But you have to be very considerate, and the human touch is always going to be a very essential part of like visual storytelling. So it's a balancing act, really.
I agree with you.
What is your hot take?
I mean, I think it's actually a very similar hot take. Because going back to when I was talking about my best friend being a motion designer, right?
Oh, right.
So the differentiator between Amanda versus like honestly any of these AI tools is that she's an illustrator. And that is a craft that I don't think AI can do. Like, it can't really do that that illustrator piece of it. I do think that AI can, switch out products like Nano Banana. Like, you can change a lot of different things, right? And you can speed up more like lifestyle shots, editing, like any of those things, especially if you're a scrappy brand. But then when you start going into like branding and motion and those types of things, I don't think it's there yet.
I don't either. I completely agree with you.
And I am absolutely, as much as I'm a CX girl and as much as I'm a marketer, I am first and foremost a very much a brand, like visual type of girl. Even though I can't do it, I will pay every business that I own, including my name, has a logo to it.
Yeah.
Has a brand kit to it, right? And I guess this is more of my hot take. I actually don't love AI logo and like brand, like visual identity creation.
It's never hit with me. It's never hit.
Yeah.
The logo generators, I'm like, what is that?
It's trash.
That's like, just saying, like when I was studying graphic design for like a little hot minute in college, I'm like, that looks like something I made.
Yeah.
Like, not in a good way.
Yeah.
Like, it's
like
pretty bad. But I can help with that, but I can't, I'm not going to develop it.
Yeah. There's just no depth.
There's not. And it's the same thing, though. You can tell when it's AI. Just like you can tell when someone's doing copy with the double hyphen. You know what I mean? Like,
dude.
Yeah. It's the same thing. So it has a signature. It has a very specific visual signature, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
But with the human touch, it's just, you can't replicate that.
No, you can't. I mean, I think about, because like Amanda's made me like a few logos for things. And I work with a very specific logo designer anytime I have a new business. I can't because I have a lot of those. I literally
more the merrier.
I know. But all of my logos are created by somebody who is an expert in Adobe.
Yeah.
And, even one of the things that I'm considering right now is taking like some of like my agency and like podcast stuff and like trying to get in like more of the cinematic approach, right? And every person that I'm looking to work with is like, I don't want to work with somebody who depends on AI. I actually want to work with somebody who's really good at like motion, graphic, works with Adobe, like those things. And I don't think, and granted, like Adobe does have its own AI stuff, but I'm just saying like, if you are out there looking for visual identity things, you can use AI in the sense to get you someplace, but but work with a fucking designer.
Yes,
like
I agree. Yeah,
it is an art form that brings depth in something beautiful to your branding.
Yeah, the one thing, and I also I did help co-found this group called Women Who AI. And we used to do summits back in the day. And like, I remember the very first summit we did with my partner, Kelly Tenney, she's incredible, by the way, another shout out, was that a lot of the big kind of questions you had from small, like really, truly small business owners who really wanted to get their footing, but didn't know where to start. It was that, we definitely talked about advocating for AI to help create that narrative as a starting point. So I think that, yes, that's a key word. So I think that like starting point is amazing. Utilize it. It's here. But I do believe in the thought around you have to curate it in a particular way. Don't just slap it and just be like, oh, that's great because AI told me. No, you need to have kind of that visual eye. If you want to have, if you're like, let's say Straff for Cash, right? And you want to have something that's just going to put in a market and you want to test it out, cool. If you're continuously going to roll with that, I am always going to advocate for like you having a consultant, right? That's brand or that is a designer that can provide that additional insight to validate whether or not that should work or maybe we should go this different direction. You know?
Yeah. I totally agree with you. Guess what?
What?
We're at the end of the road.
No.
Yeah.
That went by fast.
Isn't that crazy?
It's my first podcast too.
I know.
So.
Well, I'm so glad that you came on.
No, thank you for having me.
I think this and if you guys made it this far, here's the thing. This is literally just Rachel and I vibing. They're like, questions were on the spot. There was no pre-prep.
No. Yeah. I loved it though. Yeah. I'm like, today's been a day, but it's been I feel like closing this day with you has been honestly like the best thing ever. So
girl, thank you so much for coming on and making lemonade with me out of lemons.
It's the best.
Rachel, tell the crowd
where
they can find you.
Find me on LinkedIn. I'm currently going to go through a name change soon because I just got married last year. But you can find me at Rachel Coburn on LinkedIn. And I'm currently in the process of redeveloping my entire consultancy. Probably, hint, hint, it'll be something revolving around the word good, GEWD. So,
GEWD. Okay, love.
GEWD. So,
Well,
more to come.
Be sure to follow her on LinkedIn. She's a badass. And if you're in Austin, hit her up.
Yeah, please do.
And that is it. Thank you so much for everybody for tuning into Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning into another episode of Above the Fold. And I'll catch you next week. Toodles.
Bye.
Dang, we've made it to the end of the podcast and you're still here. So thank you so much for listening to Above the Fold podcast. For the best of this episode and every episode, be sure to follow us on Instagram and my YouTube channel. And for deeper dives on the secrets to brand success, don't forget to subscribe to my weekly newsletter, Sunday Postcards. All right, my dudes and gals, see you next week.